What's going on, school counselors? So I remember this time of year. It's like the end of April, beginning of May. A lot of you guys are like in the thick of testing season, and it feels like you're like dragging your students across the finish line. It feels like you care more than they care about graduating. You're having to email teachers about putting grades in, and parents are just now showing up on the radar after you've been emailing them all year about their student, because they're afraid that they're not going to graduate or whatever that is. But all of that to say, I know that this time of year, at least for me, it felt like everyone was starting to get like cranky and irritable, myself very much included. So here are just some tips and encouragement that helped me to kind of get through that cranky season where it's like the end of the school year and everybody's just like busting loose waiting to get out. The first tip comes from a book that I love. It's called The Power of Full Engagement. It's how to stay engaged with your work all year long, how to be like as enthusiastic as a school counselor on day 180 as you are on like day one. And so the idea is about rhythmic oscillation. Rhythmic oscillation means that you're not trying to run at full speed the entire school year. We know that that's just not sustainable. But what Dr. Jim Layer, the author of the book, says is that we need to approach our year, and I would argue this time of year specifically, in a series of sprints, not in like an all-out sprint between now and the end of May or the end of June, whenever it is that your school year ends. But listen, go hard and take a breather. Go hard and take a breather. And you might think like, I don't have time to take a breather. Well, if you don't take a breather, it's going to be a really nasty next month or two for you. So when I say take a break, I don't mean kick your shoes off and just lay around in your office or something like that, but do something that brings you joy. Go have lunch with a kid with no other agenda than to just have fun and to be with crazy kids, or like go do classroom walkthroughs, or call down a bunch of students that you know are just like amazing and kicking butt, not like the ones that are like driving you up a wall. But again, rhythmic oscillation. Don't try to sprint from here to the end of the year. Take it in manageable bite-sized pieces. Second tip I have for you is to start getting yourself excited about next school year. And so I know you might be in the thick of things doing testing and all of that junk and stuff like that, but now is a great reflection point for you. Look back over the course of the year. What did you learn? Start jotting that down. Great coaches like John Wooden from UCLA, this is actually where I learned it from, is that he would always put note cards. Whenever he would like learn something in his journey, he would put it on a note card and file it away in a box. While it might be too late for that because it's the end of the school year, now is a great reflection point. Jot down everything that you learned that might help you next year to make your life easier next year. And just start like making a list of all of those things. Like, did you do a school event where you learned something? Did you have a flub when you were looking at over like your student academic histories or your student transcripts? Or was there like a new process or procedure that you're like, you know what, instead of doing things this way, next year I want to do them that way? And that will start getting you optimistic about how awesome next year can be. So while we're talking about being optimistic for next year, if you're thinking about bringing on our curriculum for next year, let me help you to find out if it is right for your school, if it is going to be the curriculum of your dreams where you're just going to be killing it and your impact is just going to quadruple, because that is the case for a lot of you. But for some of you, if you're watching this video and we've had a meeting right here on this computer screen in this office, you know that I'll be the first one to tell you if our curriculum is not right for you. So if that is in your hopes for next year and you want to know if our curriculum is going to help you see the huge impact that some of our schools are really seeing, like the crazy stuff like 50% decrease in discipline referrals and increased student-teacher relationships and all kinds of awesome stuff, there should be a button somewhere around here where you can click to have a meeting with me. It'll be a quick 15 to 30 minute meeting where I ask you a bunch of questions, a little bit less like an interrogation, a little bit more like a first date, or like the beginning of a doctor's appointment where they ask you a bunch of questions about what's going on. But I would love to do that, and I would love to meet you and to hear about what you got going on. But hang in there. I know this is a tough time of year. You guys are doing awesome, and go ahead and finish strong. Talk to you soon.